Hi everyone, long time no see. I have not posted since 2023, it's been a while. A lot has changed. This is our newest puppy, Elliot. So yeah, this is a weekly energy reading for the week of the 10th of August, and it is also a very special eclipse week. So tomorrow, we're in Australia here, so we are on Sunday at the moment. Tomorrow is Monday, the 10th of August, and that is a universal one day. So I love it when the Monday ends up being a one day. The one day is always around new beginning, so you start your cycle again, the cycle of the numbers. So tomorrow is a really good day to set intentions, and then we're also still in the diamonds energy. So it's kind of still thinking about value, about your worth, how are you going to create that. Have, simple tools. Looking at the tools, I do actually have one on my website if you want to have a look at that in free shit section. And then Tuesday is then the universal day of 2, so where you can kind of connect to your intention a little bit more, see the outside information that you can, or the outside resources that you need to get your intention running, which falls on a 2 of Diamonds Day. So it's a very much connections around wealth and your intention and your self-worth. Then Wednesday is a 3-day, which falls onto Ace of Diamonds Day. So again, thinking about the abundance mindset and the intention of you creating your own wealth. Wednesday is also, though, the eclipse. So it's a new moon in Leo, and it's a new moon eclipse as well. And when we think about the moon phases, the new moon is always around intention setting. So it's a lot of intention, especially coming in off the Lion's Gate, where you think about intention, manifestation, what do you actually want to create. So now we're going into that new moon in eclipse, and the new moon always is the energy of setting intentions, but when it's an eclipse, it's like the divine comes in and sets you on your path on what your divine intention is. So you'll have signs coming in and listen to them. So this is intention setting on steroids. The new moon in Leo obviously we know is the energy of, is the fire sign, and it's the energy of passion, being loud, showing up as you. So the way I'm feeling this energy is, it is the divine is coming in to set you on your path so that you can take up more space on who you really are. So it's really gonna have you show up as who you want to be. So ponder on that. Who do you want to be? What do you want to have in this life? Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. Then the Thursday is a universal day 4 with the King of King of Clubs energy. So the King energy is always the energy of mastery, which again fits in perfectly with the Lion's Gate, and also the new moon eclipse. Is that after that new moon eclipse, we're still kind of in that eclipse energy. You're being asked to build structures with the universal 4 and the King of Clubs. It's like creating structure with your mental mastery. So mental mastery to me looks like, how do you talk about yourself? How do you talk about yourself? What's the chat inside of your mind? How do you think about your day? How do you think about your life? Because everything that we think and feel within our body is the truth of what the world reflects back at us. So coming out of this intention setting where the divine is going to come in to show you who you're really meant to be showing up as, you know, it's also asking you to step into mastering of your brain and how to your thoughts and how your frequency expresses into the world. Then on Friday is a Universal 5 day and the Queen of Clubs day. So that is basically nurturing the way you feel, but there will be a change. So if you on Thursday realized, I'm not actually talking that nicely to myself, my thoughts, you know, can be quite hurtful, I would never speak to anybody else the way I speak about myself. On Friday really comes the invitation for you to make that change, to nurture yourself, to nurture those around you, and to you know, get really good at loving yourself, or you know, speaking nicer to yourself. And a really good way to start that is having a gratitude journal where every day you write down, you know, at the beginning, if you've never done this before, 3 things that you're grateful for in that day. And then you can work up to 5, 10, 15. But when we invite that energy of gratefulness, then the world will show us back all of the things that we can be grateful for, and that really then starts creating miracles in our life. And I can attest to that because I've been there and done it. Saturday is Universal Day of 6 and the Jack of Clubs. So the 6 is always the day of harmony, which is lovely after the 5 when we've had, you know, the change and us thinking about and nurturing us. Then the 6 creates that harmony, but then the Jack of Clubs also really invites us to try something new. So the Jack energy is always the energy of, I see it a little bit as a teenager energy. So very naive, bold, but also brave and courageous and, you know, loud. And I'm just going to go out there, sometimes a little bit reckless and not really thinking about the repercussions. But if we're thinking about, you know, that in the context of the 6, so the creating balance, it really is try something new, be bold, be brave, the way you show up in the world. So clubs is the energy of mental, so teaching, learning, but for me it also is the energy of the frequency of you and how it shows up in this world. So it's, you know, how we know how it feels like when you walk into a room and it kind of feels off, or you meet a person and it kind of feels like the energy is a bit off. That's our intuition being like, we're not on the same wavelength here. So by working on our club's frequency, or the frequency how we show up in this world, that will make you more magnetic to the people that you're meant to have in your life. So your frequency will be louder. And then on Sunday, the 16th, is the Universal Day of 7 and the 10 of Clubs, which is 7 is basically the energy of trust, introspection, but also letting go. So now we've put in place, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've had our intention on Monday. On Tuesday we thought about how can we make that intention happen, what are the resources I need for the 2. Then the 3, we've had, all right, let's create something. So we stepped into that. Then on Thursday we have the 4, we're creating the stability, because we've, you know, we've gone from having an idea to what do we need, to putting creative energy and love into that. So then on the 4 day we have the that foundation, that structure, to then changing it again to seeing if it still needs you know, some sort of refinement. Then we harmonize everything, and now we are at that point where we have gone through you know, the creation and the making the stability and everything for now is just to let go of it. We can trust it out there. The frequency is done, and it is on a 10 of clubs day, and the 10 of clubs is the abundant mind. So we have we just have that flow. We have the abundance of creative thinking. We have the abundance of who we are, and we just have to let it go. So it's going to go out into the universe the way it is, and yeah, we just have to trust that it'll come back as the intention that we set up in the first place. So that's, oh, I just also want to pull a card on the overall energy, and I am using my Trusted the Enchanted map, and you can see how much I love it because this is like all battered and old. But yeah, I just want to just trying to do this with a puppy in my lap who's very tired. So here we go. All right, so the card that's come out is the Magic Stream card, and I'm just going to read it. Card number 18. Everything is connected through the universal flow of consciousness. So yes, the universal flow of consciousness is represented this week in the eclipse, where the universe, where the consciousness, the divine, is going to come in and show you your path and your divine path if you listen. So every experience you have seems to have its own life story with a beginning, a middle, and eventually an end. However, there's danger in seeing events as separate from one another, since in fact they are all part of a continuity and a greater evolution. Like an ever-flowing magic stream, your experiences filter through the whole world, one leading into another. That is that club's energy, you know, the frequency that you are, that flows out into the world, that will also come back. One leading into another, informing and influencing still more. Inspiration, invention, and revelations rarely come to just one person. The collective awareness is a shared storehouse of potential. When you remember you're part of the fluid continuity of life, you become a channel for the great inspiration. Allow the magic to flow through you and carry your dreams into reality. Your success will benefit many. So that is the self-responsibility around the energy that you carry, and how it really influences everyone around us as well, and how that can, you know, our frequency can help others, you know, see more of who they are themselves, because we're all one. I think that's all I want to say today. I wish you all a lovely week. I will be posting more during the week around the eclipse and, you know, all those things. So thank you for being here with me today. Love you all. Bye.